All right. I hear it all the time. People saying things like, God, I hate the airport. And I get it, I do. There's people everywhere pushing and shoving, trying to get the one up on each other, the long lines, the expensive food, it's craziness. And your goal is to spend as little time in there as possible. But what if you have a super long layover and need to pass the time quickly? Well, let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Troy from Floaterly.com, and today we are talking about passing time in the airport. Like I said, airports do kind of suck, but they don't have to be that bad. I actually enjoy being in the airport now, yeah. I look at it like a survival challenge, so let's get into the tips. First, your main objective is to find your gate. If you're arriving at the airport for your first flight, then you are probably only going to be waiting an hour or two before you board and take off. So your main objective before anything else is to make it to your gate. Sometimes it's a nice close walk, sometimes you need to take a shuttle across the runway to an entirely different section of the airport. And either way, once you locate and physically get to your gate, then you can relax, find food, use the bathroom, do all that other stuff. However, if you have a long layover, then you'll still want to find your connecting gate first, just to familiarize yourself with the airport and get your bearings. Again, once it's located, then you know how long it takes to get there and exactly where it is, which helps when it comes to budgeting time out as you explore the airport to pass time. All right, number 2. So you found your gate and you're ready to pass time. The next thing you should look for is airport lounges. Now you're probably saying to yourself, I thought lounges were only for the privileged travelers. But actually, a lot of the premier lounges, such as Admiral's Club from American Airlines or the United Club, and not every airport in the world has these lounges, but if you have a long layover and want to be somewhere super comfortable with snacks, then I'd at least search for them and ask if they accept day passes. The day passes are typically around $50, and I'm actually surprised that they aren't more expensive than that. A lot of the lounges come with full bathrooms with showers, complimentary snacks, and even a media room a lot of the time. If you have a multiple hours long layover, I think this would be a great use of your money, 100%. Of course, people who are members of the actual club can get in for free. So if you are a member of one of the premier clubs, I'm sure you know to look for those lounges. But another thing to note is that if you are traveling with someone who isn't a member, you may even be able to get your friend in because they typically allow a guest or two for free. For my active duty military folks out there, I'm sure you've heard of the USO before, but if you haven't heard of it or you haven't ever really been, it's a nice lounge with the whole 9 yards. The one I went to when I had a long layover had a theater room with movies playing, TVs with video games, tons of snacks, and a lot of really great people. So if you're traveling in an airport, keep the USO in mind. All right, now that lounges are out of the way, let's say you aren't a member of any clubs and you don't feel like spending $50 for a day of access. Well, your priority now is to locate and conquer an outlet. For some reason, outlets are super rare. Granted, I'm seeing more and more airports putting outlets in between all of the chairs in the waiting gates, but there are still some airports out there that have practically no outlets anywhere. So you'll see a group of people sitting around a pillar because that's the only outlet in a 5-mile radius. If there are no outlets at your gate available, then you need to go on a hunt and start with the surrounding gates. Any outlets? No? Okay, move on to the main corridors. You'll typically find outlets here, which I am assuming are used for vendors or snack machines, but when no one is there using it, it's just an outlet begging to be plugged. Outlets are important because passing time means you'll most likely be on your phone, watching videos, TV shows, whatever. This can drain your battery pretty quick, and if you do that for hours and hours on end, you're at risk for losing power and forced back into the Stone Age. And don't let that happen to you. I promise. Being in that situation sucks. And another thing you can do to pass the time is to find a nice sit-down restaurant or bar. This will end up being more expensive than paying for that lounge pass, but I mean, it does pass time pretty quick. You can easily burn an hour or two eating a good meal and having a drink while watching TV or browsing your phone. Or a less expensive route is to just go shopping at the airport stores. You don't have to buy anything, but it's like going to the mall, just window shopping, getting outfit ideas, seeing the neat stuff that random little stores have. It's a nice relaxing way to get the blood flowing and get some exercise as well. And it doesn't cost you anything unless you actually want to buy something. And finally, of course, is sleeping. If I find a nice comfy spot on the floor, you can bet I'll be knocked out if I'm even the least bit tired. It's probably one of the number one ways to pass time, but I saved it for last. You're welcome. But yeah, that's all I really got for you. So if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you went down, subscribed, and hit that bell icon for notifications whenever I upload, as well as leaving a like and sharing this video with friends. If you know they have a trip coming up and aren't very big fans of airports, And with that all being said, thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.